Weather alert day, slick roads make for a tricky morning commute this morning. We're tracking how the roads are looking right now and helping you get to where you need to go this morning.
Thousands of flights are canceled around the country and here at home. We're live at O'Hare. You can see travelers sleeping it off as they try to get out of town before the holiday.
Taking you outside this morning, live look, bone chilling cold continues into the Christmas holiday weekend. Here we go, a lot to talk about. We got you covered on this Friday morning.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Top of the hour. Hey, everybody. Good morning. I'm Terrell Brown.
And I'm Tanya Babich in for Val on this 23rd day of December. I know this is the look for you for the digital show, but have you lost your mind? It's freezing in here.
Oh, stop it, please. No, it's fine.
I've got a heating pad in my lap because it's so cold. We have team coverage for you on this bone-chilling cold as we head into our first full day of a bitter blast of winter weather. We'll begin with your ABC7 AccuWeather forecast. Greg Dutra is in for Tracy.
Yeah, good morning. Here, of course, that very chilly air as it slides into the area and brings with it some lake effect snow, but mainly on the east, well, only on the eastern side of Lake Michigan, through southern Michigan and also into extreme northern LaPorte County, but barely even seeing any snow there at this point. Elsewhere, north-south roads are going to be your main concern with those winds out of the north-northwest to southeast. It's blowing snow back over the roadways despite no new snow falling. It's also just really blowing the wind fast and making for a cold wind chill. Anywhere from 40 degrees below zero at the very coldest to at the very warmest, well, about 25 degrees below zero, which is not exactly warm. So for the morning drive, those temperatures remain below zero. Air temp wise, we claw our way to about zero. Some may not make it there during this afternoon, and wind chills will remain to almost 25 degrees below zero through our Saturday afternoon. We'll see when things get better coming up.
Greg, we have a lot of reports this morning of very slick roads. Now, we don't have a very high volume of traffic. That's a little bit of good news. But from what we are hearing, the cars that are out there, a lot of spin outs. We've got a lot of exit and on ramps that are very slick, and people are either sliding off and into the ditch or rolling over in some cases. So a lot of various incidents across our area. The big picture, though, doesn't look bad just because, again, the volume is low. Up on the Edens near Willow Road, and this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. We have a rollover vehicle that hit a light pole. The light pole is on that vehicle. The fire department is there, of course, along with an ambulance and state police, and it is taken out right now the partial acceleration lane there at Willow Road. So if you do have to hit the road, just please take your time because anything that looks like sheen or shiny may be black ice. Out in Gurnee, Delaney Road and Grove Avenue, we do have signals out. They're malfunctioning there. And then one more incident for you. It's a crash out in Volo, Route 120 and Route 60. Back to you.
Diane, thank you. Our winter storm coverage continues with a live look at conditions downtown, including that dangerous cold.
Yeah, Jessica D'Onofrio is live in the loop and has more on what she's seeing this morning, Jess.
Well, Tanya and Terrell, we are trying to stay warm inside our live truck, but this cold can only be described as brutal. The wind is the worst part of it all. The snow moved in yesterday and punished the Chicago area into the evening hours. Now we're left with these high winds and these bitter cold temperatures. People in Hyde Park struggling to stay warm, many wearing multiple layers, including heated thermals. Some say this weather reminds Chicagoans what they're made of.
Brutal. I mean, for people that are in the Chicago area, it's brutal, but for us, it's commonplace. This is opening day at Wrigley Field.
The worst part is just walking in it, really, more than anything else, walking and driving in it.
The brutal cold comes with many dangers. Any skin that's exposed to the air could get frostbite very quickly. Meanwhile, many are still trying to get last-minute errands done before Christmas, and they're finding it hard to get around. Now, back here live, if that's something you're trying to do today, proceed with caution for sure. The temperatures will be below zero throughout the morning, but it really feels more like 30 below zero. Trust me, I've been out there this morning. Tanya and Terrell, back to you.
Yeah, it is cold, Jess. All right, appreciate it. Thank you. The city of Chicago has opened 6 warming centers. You can find one by calling 311. Meanwhile, the Garfield Community Service Center at 10 South Kedzie is open 24 hours a day to connect residents to emergency shelter. You can also call to request a well-being check on someone or report inadequate heat in a residential building. You can also find more information on our website, abc7chicago.com. Want to get to the airport this morning, and thousands of flights have been canceled across the country. Hundreds are canceled here in Chicago.
Mark Rivera has been keeping an eye on the departures board at O'Hare. Mark.
Hey, good morning to both of you. Yes, so between O'Hare and Midway, we've already seen just this morning 500 plus flights canceled so far. Across the nation, 3,000 flights have been canceled. So obviously dealing with a big travel headache if you're coming to the airport today. It was empty overnight. We saw people sleeping on the floors, just trying to wait to catch their flight. But this morning, it has been very busy. People, thousands, have been moving through the TSA checkpoint line right just here at Terminal 1. And we're dealing with a lot of people out as well, just trying to make up for those canceled flights. We spoke to one family who was trying to make it out to Washington, D.C. Their flight was canceled last minute at midnight. And now they're back here this morning getting into it as well. So they are trying to get their flight back to see family. And there's also another special guest here at the airport. You can't, oh yeah, you can see him if you move in here, taking a live look right now. Santa Claus is out here greeting passengers and children, friends and family, everybody who's out here trying to get to their destinations. He is bringing some festive cheer to O'Hare after a very difficult couple of days, of course, as well. So right now I'm live at O'Hare. What else do you want to know, guys?
I don't know. Are the reindeer refueling? How did Santa get there?
Rudolph's on the roof. Dasher and Dancer, they're out having a little break right here out in front of the terminal.
Yeah, he
exactly.
Probably feels right at home since it's so cold here. It's probably just like this at the North Pole too. So.
Yeah, you know, he had his flight come in from the North Pole, so that was pretty good. Yeah.
Spotted that one on the arrivals board.
Mark Rivera. Mark, we'll see you in a little bit. Thank you so much. And look, just so you know, you can get up-to-the-minute weather in your neighborhood. Use your smartphone, hover the camera over the QR code you see right there on the screen. It'll get you a link to our Doppler 7 Max radar. In the south suburbs, the cold and blowing snow have been making it tough to drive. White knuckle drive last night for a lot of people heading out for the holidays and trying to get home. Drivers that we talked to said that the wind was awful and the roads weren't any better.
It's been interesting and quite scary at times.
How so?
There's one spot that was definitely very slick, and you could definitely tell that it was going to get a little dangerous. But, you know, we saw some trucks that had already slipped onto the sides.
I was driving like 20 miles per hour or 65 per hour.
20 miles per hour?
Yeah, because it's getting like traffic.
Salting doesn't do any good at that point. So, you know, it's kind of a losing fight. You just got to really be careful.
Truck drivers say that the high winds made it challenging to keep their rigs on the road. We'll have a live report from the suburbs coming up at the bottom of the hour at 7:30. I want to talk about the roads this morning, see how it is for people trying to get around. Illinois Department of Transportation spokeswoman Maria Castaneda is with us on the phone. Maria, good morning. It's Terrell. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Good morning.
Great. It's nice to have you again. Thank you for being with us all morning long. You have an update? How are things looking out there on the roads now?
Yeah, so, I mean, a couple of different things are happening. So we had a situation on the Edens, too, where, you know, obviously someone had slide off. We had kind of someone hit our barrels, too, on a reversibles. So, I mean, definitely slick conditions. I mean, as the sun's coming up and as things are starting to melt, I mean, with these freezing temperatures, really just want to remind, you know, the motorists once again, please go much slower than you think you need to, because what might look like wet pavement is definitely pretty slick. And then want to remind motorists out in the outlining areas, we still have that wind going on, so you're still going to see snow drifting and blowing across the roadways.
Your advice to anybody who maybe has to get on the road this morning? I mean, are the roads clear for the most part, Maria?
I would say on the most part, of course, you're going to have some pockets here and there with that drifting snow. You're still going to see some, you know, snow on those roadways. Definitely on those bridges, those overpass are definitely going to be much more slick. Biggest advice is give yourself extra time. Go a lot slower than you think you need to go. Make sure you got that full tank of gas, and make sure your windshield wiper fluid is filled as well. And also, really importantly, if you're traveling alone, make sure people know that you're on the road and where you're going to be going.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Maria Castaneda, Idot spokeswoman. Maria, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
A reminder, if you're taking Metro today, several changes have been made to train schedules. Details are different for every line. Metro suggests riders allow extra travel time. The CTA plans to run its regular schedule today. However, it has canceled the final runs of the holiday bus.
Breaking news in the western suburbs now, and firefighters in Oak Park have been braving the weather out there this morning and overnight, trying to fight a fire at an apartment building. It happened in the 200 block of South Boulevard. The fire broke out around 2:30 this morning. It now looks to be under control, and we haven't gotten reports of anyone being hurt.
And new this morning, Chicago police are investigating a carjacking in Lakeview. Officers say a man was walking to his van in a parking garage just before 10 last night. 4 men beat him before taking his keys and then driving off in the victim's black Nissan SUV. The man was treated at the hospital.
All right, we're watching this today. Fun events that are part of Chicago's Winter Kickback Series. The city is partnering up with the district, the Park District, and several community groups to offer winter-themed activities through January 6th. Starting at noon today, Santa will be at the Gage Park Fieldhouse, and in Little Village, there is a Winter Lights holiday event in the Park Fieldhouse there, and all the events are free and open to the public.
Your live and local news is just getting started. We're streaming out loud this morning, and coming up, a blizzard warning for LaPorte, Porter counties, Indiana. Until Saturday, we're speaking live with a spokesperson from the Indiana Department of Transportation about those road conditions.
First, though, Phil and Greg are on deck this morning checking out the AccuWeather forecast. We'll get an update from both of them and break down some snow totals right after this.
Welcome back, everybody. Thursday's storm has been impacting people across the country. One Wyoming town broke a record with a 70-degree temperature drop. Snow squall warnings in Denver canceled hundreds of flights, and the cold and snow are causing several crashes in Missouri and transformer explosions in Kansas. Here is your live look outside here. And I guess you can be glad that you're not in Wyoming, but hey, it's not great to be here either. Greg?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and speak for the Big Sky Country contingent, Wyoming, Montana area, and just say that, you know, I think that's a pretty good spot to be, although maybe not today. Taking a look outside, we have our wind chill forecast here through today, and we have dropped to 30 to 40 degrees below zero for our wind chills, and it doesn't get much better. 15 to 25 degrees below zero for wind chill values into tomorrow. At best, we get to 15 degrees below zero with the wind chill tomorrow afternoon. Our air temperature will be a few degrees above zero. Right now, it is still 8 degrees below zero. That has remained virtually unchanged out at O'Hare, with blowing snow still being recorded and a visibility that's bounced between about 2 and 6 miles at the very best. It's not horrible, but it's slowing down the planes, it's slowing down the travel, and especially on north-south roads are where we see travel concerns, because as you see here, sustained winds are about 20 or 30 miles per hour, gusts are even higher, and they're blowing right across those north-south routes. So you got 355, you got 94, you've got 65 over northwest Indiana, and again, all of those north-south roads are going to see blowing and drifting snow. Additionally, there's lake effect snow going on in extreme southern Michigan and northern portions of Indiana. Still a blizzard warning for Porter, for LaPorte counties, and into Berrien County here in southern Michigan. Union Pierce, Sawyer, Michigan City, spots like that, New Buffalo, all going to be seeing blizzard conditions through tonight and possibly even into early tomorrow morning with additional snowfall. Temperatures are very chilly. They're anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees below zero, and then through the next couple of days, we don't really warm up very much. I mean, look at New England tomorrow. Those temperatures will be in the teens to around 20. Florida is highs in the 40s. The iguana watch is on as they start falling from the trees when it gets below 50 degrees, and they actually straight up have warming shelters open for 30s. They're just not used to that stuff, and a lot of people don't even have a winter coat down there. For us, well, we certainly have the winter coats, and boy, are we using them. We usually have a couple different winter coats. The puffy jackets are what you need here for today and into tonight and all the way through Christmas Day, as the air temperature does not get much above zero, and it stays that way through Christmas. Wind chills 15, 25 below for the Bills and Bears game there on Saturday, and it stays sunny but still cold on Sunday before warming up. Phil, those snowfall totals, they were not significant, but it still presented some problems.
You know, exactly. All week long, we were kind of lowering the snowfall amounts as the models started to lock in on the system. And officially at O'Hare, the last report, just 1.3 inches of snow. Streeter, Romeoville, 2.5 inches, 2.3 in Elmhurst and Peatone. The thing is, the accumulating snow really started to end by about 7, 8 o'clock last night, except over in southwest Michigan. You can see the lake effect snow, and some of this is especially heavy from New Buffalo up through Chickamine Township and on towards Benton Harbor. This includes places like Sawyer. That's where we continue to see some heavy lake effect snows. But the rest of us, the snow's over, but look at the wind gusts. Up to 47 miles per hour a few hours ago in Sugar Grove. The wind gusting to 42 miles per hour in Naperville, creating dangerously cold wind chills. It feels like it's 37 below right now in Sugar Grove as well as Hammond. Wind chill right now at O'Hare, 33 below, and obviously there are problems with that blowing and drifting snow out on the roadways. Let's go over to Diane.
Indiana this morning, Phil, we are seeing extremely slick conditions over in Indiana because we do have a lot of blowing and drifting snow there. A stall northbound 65 approaching US 30 in the lane of traffic. And then on the other roadways in Indiana, again, very slick and snow covered, and it's impacted snow. So that salt that they threw on a little earlier, not working because of these temperatures. System-wide, travel times nice and low. That does not mean we're short on actual incidents. There's a ton of things going on this morning. Inbound on the Eisenhower, right near the JBI, we do have a crash there, and it is actually causing a delay. So whatever traffic is out there is stopping to take a look and get past that. Northbound on the Tri-State approaching Cicero, it sounds like we have a jackknife semi. I checked some of our cameras out there. I can't find it, but I do know that State Police is with it, so it is founded. Again, a jackknife semi, and it is causing a delay out there as well. Then we have one more problem out in Grays Lake where we've got the railroad gates down. It's Lake and Center Street. Back to you.
Thank you, Diane. Let's get back to the weather and driving conditions now.
Yeah, Illinois Department of Transportation spokeswoman Maria Castaneda. We just spoke to Maria. Maria, are you back with us? No. Let's see here. You're talking to Glenn Fifield, Illinois State Police. Sorry about that, Glenn. Are you with us? I'm so sorry. Glenn Fifield, can you hear us, Glenn? All right, and looks like we do not have Glenn. So we'll move on. We'll get to our headlines right now. We'll see if we can get Glenn back, talk about what's going on over in Northwest Indiana. Of course, that's where we saw a lot of weather impacts through the day yesterday, overnight, and into today. More on that on the way.
Still ahead. This broke overnight. The January 6th committee has released its final report recommending former President Trump be barred from office. We'll be back.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
We're going to get back to weather and driving conditions now.
Yeah, Illinois Department of Transportation spokeswoman Cassie Bajak is with us on the phone. Cassie, it's nice to have you back. Can you hear us?
Yes.
It's with the Indiana Department of Transportation. Are you with us this morning? Can you hear us?
Yeah, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yeah, we got you now. So how are things out there now?
Yeah, so travel conditions are difficult across northwest Indiana, especially in LaPorte County, but Lake and Porter as well. Definitely seeing a lot of snow-covered roads, some slick spots with ice. Just due to these temperatures, it's really hard to get materials to be effective right now, so it's definitely slow going out in our area.
I know you had some some crashes on I-94 overnight. How does that stretch look now this morning as the sun comes up?
Yeah, so we're definitely still seeing some slide-offs and crashes. Not as bad as overnight, but we definitely want people to slow down out there and drive to the conditions because we are seeing some of those crashes and slide-offs.
Anything that you would tell anybody that's maybe thinking about hitting the road? A lot of people are still trying to get to a destination before the weekend and Christmas. What would you say to those folks?
Yeah, I mean, definitely plan a lot of extra time to get wherever you're going and plan to just really take it a lot slower than you normally would. We're seeing a lot of people saying that, they're traveling at 25 to 35 miles per hour, even on state roads, and that's probably as fast as you would want to go based on what we're seeing out on the roadways right now. So if you have a long distance to travel, it's going to take you a lot longer to get there.
All righty. Cassandra Bajak with the Indiana Department of Transportation. Cassie, appreciate your time. Thank you.
And now to other news. Thank you, Cassie. And now to other news making headlines. The January 6th committee released its final report, finding that former President Donald Trump took part in a, quote, multi-part conspiracy to overturn the lawful results of the 2020 election. It also finds he failed to stop his supporters from attacking the U.S. Capitol. The House committee says the insurrection threatened democracy and put lawmakers' lives at risk. You can read the report on our website, ABC7Chicago.com.
Going to link up with everybody that's watching Good Morning America right now.
We'll have another weather and traffic update on TV for you in just a little bit. You'll see it here as well.
And when we come back, President Biden's Christmas message for the nation. That's after this.
Now, an update from ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning, everyone. Taking a look here at our forecast, and our highs today and beyond are going to be in the single digits too. Well, possibly double digits below zero with the wind chill. Expect 25 to 30 degrees below zero easily today, 15 to 25 degrees below zero tomorrow. So we warm up to 15 degrees below zero. And then on Sunday, we'll be anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees below zero on Christmas Day. Now, granted, it's going to be much less breezy. That'll mainly be during the morning. It's not like we warm up very much. We'll be in the upper 30s for our Tuesday, high of 28 before we hit back into the 30s for our Wednesday afternoon, and we could be talking about some rainfall. We'll have a look at traffic coming up in just a few minutes after the break.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Advocate Aurora Health.
Welcome back, everybody. It's not that we have a high volume of traffic. It's the road conditions making things extremely difficult for the vehicles that are out there. Because of that, we're seeing several incidents out there. So if you do have to leave the house today for work or anything else, just know any sheen or shiny roads that you see could be black ice, because that's what Illinois State Police and Idot is reporting at this hour. Let's start northbound on the tri-state. Big problem approaching Cicero. So basically, we've got a jackknife semi. It's taking out 3 lanes of traffic, and what little traffic is out there is delayed because of this. It sounds like there may be injuries involved in this. We'll give you more information as soon as it is reported. Then we got to go to the inbound side of the Stevenson right near Damon. Idot is with that crash also causing a delay on the inbound side there for folks that have to come into the city. Northbound on the Bishop 4, this just got called out, and almost immediately we saw that delay right near Dalton. There's a crash there as well. We've got some suburban crashes as well. Too many to even list. Metro's having issues too. Eastbound I-80, this just got called in right near US 30. There's a crash there. If you are taking public transportation, check before you go.
Another trip outside this morning. You can see the clouds out there, and it's just cold, and we'll talk more about the weather here in just a little bit. To some news now, and President Biden urged Americans to spread a little kindness during his Christmas address. He added that he hoped this holiday season drains, quote, the poison that has infected our politics.
I hope this Christmas season marks a fresh start for our nation, because there's so much that unites us as Americans, so much more that unites us than divides us.
The president plans to spend Christmas in Washington.
Tomorrow, a new holiday tradition begins. ABC and Hulu team up to track Santa on his journey around the world.
Yeah, our special tracking Santa technology makes it feel like you're riding along in Santa's sleigh, and this is as close as you can get to Santa without actually being one of those reindeer. ABC News is joining local stations across the country to report from the scene of Santa sightings, and that will include me, Val, Greg, and Ryan Cheverini. Also get Christmas music, some Christmas trivia. So don't miss it. Tracking Santa, a Hulu ABC holiday special this Christmas Eve, 5 p.m. only on Hulu.
How fun.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Looking forward to it. Coming up this morning, the age-old wisdom of warming up your car in winter before you drive away could be doing more damage than good. Why it isn't actually a good idea for your car.
And storm trackers out on the roads this morning, how it's looking out there. We'll get an update coming up.
You're watching ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7, streaming live now.
Good morning and welcome back. I'm Tanya Babbage.
And I'm Terrell Brown. Bottom of the hour here. Still continuing our coverage of the winter storm that moved through yesterday and how we're looking outside this morning. We got you covered if you're trying to get around this morning. We start with a look outside.
Oh, man.
What is that going on the lake right now?
Stinks.
Is that steam?
It's probably a combination of blowing snow and, yes, some steam coming off of the lake because the lake water is, this is going to sound weird, warmer
Warmer
Yeah,
than the air temperature.
Yeah, so I guess a refreshing dip in Lake Michigan today, although not advisable. Winds are blowing from the west to the east. I mean, what a great visualization right there, right? And temperatures are sub-zero, 5-10 degrees below zero to start it off. Wind chills are even colder than that. Our satellite and radar shows what that wind is doing as it goes across Lake Michigan. It's taking that moisture, that steam that you see coming off the lake, and turning it into snowfall. Blizzard conditions in southern Michigan and northern portions of LaPorte County. Now, there's still a blizzard warning for northern Porter County, well, for the entirety of Porter County, but it's really only northern Porter County, as some lake effect snow may slip in there. But again, most of the action is right here, kind of underneath my hand, from Union Pier down to about Michigan City. Westville's at 24 below, Whiting's at 37 degrees below zero, and then you're near 40 degrees below zero right now as you head in areas that are in Chicago and off to the west. For the rest of the morning commute, sub-zero air temps, well sub-zero wind chills. That continues into this evening, where temperatures will start to improve by tomorrow, but still about 25 degrees below zero. Diane?
Oh, it's still just so messy out there this morning. And again, and I know I've said this a couple times, but I have to repeat it for those people that are just joining us. It's not because we have a heavy amount of vehicles on the road or a heavy volume of traffic. It's simply because of these very slick road conditions. And some people are seeing sheen on the road, not thinking it's black ice going too fast, and either slipping or spinning or rolling over, you name it. We've got it all this morning. All right, so the big picture doesn't look all that bad, but we've got 3 lanes down northbound on the tri-state approaching Cicero with a jackknife semi with some injuries and a huge delay approaching that scene. Then eastbound 80, this is now in the left lane. It's a crash right near US 30. And let's go out to Storm Tracker coming back into Illinois from Indiana on the toll road. And you can see, actually, this is not too bad. This is our photographer, Obi, who just came from a little further in Indiana, where it was actually snow-covered and pretty packed. But the roads look good here. Just keep in mind, we do have slick spots. Back to you.
All right, Diane, thank you. For people trying to fly out of Chicago, it was more missed than hit.
Overnight, we saw a lot of travelers trying to sleep on the floor at O'Hare. Does not look comfortable. Mark Rivera is out with those poor souls at the airport. Mark, you got to have compassion for them.
Oh my gosh, of course, especially when they're trying to get to where they want to be with friends and family this holiday weekend. The latest numbers so far that we're looking at in terms of cancellations nationwide, we just learned 3,300 flights have been canceled across the country, more than 500 flights just today with O'Hare and Midway canceled combined. So a lot of travelers are dealing with a headache this morning as they're trying to reach out and head over home or visiting friends and family this holiday weekend. But let's take a look. Overnight, a much calmer crowd at O'Hare after the winter storm canceled hundreds of those flights. Some people spending their pre-Christmas hours. We saw them sleeping on the hard tile floors and airport seats. Not comfortable, because they just wanted to be ready to catch their flight here this morning.
We got here 7 or so hours ago, hoping that our flight is on time tomorrow. So spending the night on the floor of O'Hare, which isn't very comfortable, but we're here, so. He was sleeping. I was just on my phone.
We did an all-nighter. At 4 o'clock in the morning, they said they were going to open the ticket counter so we could see what flight we were going to be on today.
Spending all night just to get to the ticket counter that opens at 4 a.m. So flights in and out of Chicago, they saw some of the hardest impacts in the country because of the winter storm. And today is expected to bring more of the same. Strong winds, icy conditions. Again, FlightAware reporting more than 3,300 flights are already canceled nationwide today. About 100 flights or more tomorrow. So anybody who's traveling, just make sure that you check and make sure that if you're headed to the airport, your flight actually is available and is going to be taking off. Otherwise, just best of luck for everybody out here. We did see Santa out here just about a half hour ago. He has now left the building. He's back to the lists. Okay, a lot of paperwork at this point. So he's still doing those, you know, especially when you have to check them twice. It gets very tedious.
It's crunch time.
Just wishing the best. Yeah, it is crunch time. It is crunch time. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right. glad we got to see Santa at least once. And for those folks who are sleeping on the floor at O'Hare, that stinks, but at least you're not outside. Our meteorologists have been warning us it is so cold out, it can be dangerous.
Yeah, Jessica D'Onofrio was at State and Lake this morning with more on what it's like to be out there, Jess.
Well, Tanya and Terrell, right now we are inside our live truck, thankfully toasty warm, but I can tell you from being outside this morning, the air temperature is really, really painful. Now, temperatures have dropped into negative numbers, and if you add the wind into the mix, it feels more like 30 below zero. The snow has moved out, but people will still find themselves digging out this morning. They will be doing that in this brutal weather, which obviously comes with many dangers, and we know a lot of people are going to try to keep doing those pre-holiday errands.
If you have any skin that is visible to the air, it's gonna get frostbite pretty fast. If you're not layered up, you're gonna feel every bit of this wind, especially on the east side, just close to the lake. You're gonna feel it.
Back here live, if you really need to go out today, dress in layers, grab some hand and toe warmers for sure, and dream about when the temperatures will be closer to the 40s next week. That's what I've been listening. That's the only thing I hear all morning. Tanya and Terrell, back to you.
40 sounds really good right about now, as long as it's not negative 40.
Yeah.
Because we're closer to that than we are to above zero. Now at 7, Indiana State Police Sergeant Glenn Fifield joins us again on the phone.
Sergeant, nice to have you back. Can you hear us? Okay. All right. So we don't have Sergeant Fifield. All right. And we just lost him. So we'll see if we can get him back on the phone here in just a little bit. In the meantime,
The dangerous cold and blowing snow have been causing issues on South suburban roads.
yeah, Mayor Kawash is now joining the show this morning. I know you've been out, Mayor, talking to drivers who have had to deal with the winds in these slick roads. What are you hearing?
Tanya, well, actually, all things considered, so far it's good news on the roads. It is a little icy. You see a lot of cars taking it slow. That's how you should be going right about now. We've seen some black ice, some spots, but really overall, plows, crews have done a great job all around the area of really getting these roads ready for all the travel that's still going to continue throughout the rest of the day. Here at the Southland Oasis, we see just a few people. It's rather empty for what usually would be a pretty busy time to travel ahead of the Christmas holiday. The roads, though, still clear. So I'll show you some video of what we've been seeing throughout the past few hours since last night. Many drivers still trying to take their time, get to their destinations, and some of them have described what they're seeing on the roads. Take a listen.
It's been interesting and quite scary at times.
How so?
There's one spot that was definitely very slick, and you could definitely tell that it was going to get a little dangerous. But, you know, we saw some trucks that had already slipped onto the sides.
I was driving like 20 miles per hour or 65 per hour.
20 miles per hour?
Yeah, because it's getting like traffic.
Salting doesn't do any good at that point, so, you know, it's kind of a losing fight. You just got to really be careful.
Now, it really is a no judgment zone on these streets right now when you're driving. We did see some people taking it really slow, and you know what? If that's what you have to do right now to not end up on the side of the road like we did see a few cars were, that's totally fine. So all things considered, we're looking good right now, except if you have to stand out there, because I was only out there for 5-10 minutes and I certainly couldn't feel my face. So thankful to be inside. We're going to keep tracking these roads, which again look good right now. We'll see how that evolves throughout the morning. Tanya, Terrell.
Okay, thank you. That's in South Holland. Mayor Kawash reporting live for us. Now let's take a closer look in the city. We're getting an update on Chicago's efforts to keep the roads clear.
Streets and Sanitation Commissioner Cole Stallard is back with us this morning. Commissioner, can you hear us? It's nice to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
So what are things looking like out there now?
The main streets are in real good shape, but as I put an asterisk on that one, please, in my speech, that you please proceed with caution. There could be black ice. There could be blowouts. We're going to be dealing with this wind for the next day or two. So just because you see that clear street, that doesn't give you don't take that courage to hit that gas pedal. Just drive safe, please.
Commissioner, you said there could be black ice, and I think I heard you say there could be blowouts?
Yeah, blowouts we're experiencing on Lakeshore Drive with that wind. It's just picking up that dry snow and just shooting it right across the street. And then that ice, you can't see that ice on that road, but just drive with caution because it could fool you. And we don't want anybody to end up getting hurt. Yeah. And we're getting ready to transition now to the neighborhood streets. So you'll start seeing our trucks transitioning to the neighborhood streets. So we'll be out there.
And thankfully on those neighborhood streets, not a whole lot of accumulation to clear this morning, but certainly important, I'm sure, to get that salt down.
Yes, and it's as it was mentioned earlier, that salt has a tougher time working. It needs a little sun, needs a little traffic, but we'll have it down, and the streets will be safe and passable.
The message that you have, Commissioner, to anybody who does need to be out this morning, are you even telling people to not be on the roads this morning?
It's people really listened last night during the rush hour, as much snow as there was versus the day before with traffic. So it's platforms like this that help us get this message out, and I think it really worked, and people are going to be able to get to where they have to go safely for this holiday weekend. Real quick before we let you go, just curious, because I got behind some of the plows this morning. How do you guys stagger them? I mean, how much planning goes into the operations that you do to clear a road like Lakeshore Drive? Well, on DeSable Lakeshore Drive, you're seeing people that are really experienced, and you'll see those fork trucks across all the lanes, and it's a pretty cool sight to see if people appreciate stuff like that. Yeah. But those are our most experienced, tend to be our most experienced drivers. That's not to take away from what everybody else is doing, but Lakeshore Drive with that lake blowing off that lake, that's a special group out there. It's pretty amazing to watch them work, and we appreciate their talent and their diligence, especially in situations like this.
And you're exactly the anchor, Terrell, that I would expect to ask that question. Commissioner Cole-Stallard, thank you so much for that little bit of insight and also the safety update for our friends who are out on the roads this morning or who will be heading out shortly. We appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you.
All right, have a good one. All right, so with this deep freeze, we have a warm-up warning for you this morning. Some experts say do not warm up your car. It's according to AAA that letting your engine run for just a few minutes in the cold apparently is not a good idea, but they believe drivers should only idle cars as long as it takes to buckle your seatbelt, which is not a long time at all. The experts say that this gives the motor enough time for the oil to move to get the vehicle's important parts moving.
Well, this is the one time my complete ignorance works in my favor. Yeah. Because I start the car and I go.
And you go. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of us today have the remote starts and that kind of thing. I mean, I would just let the car run to stay warm, to get into it, and it feels good when I get in there, not even thinking about so much the car.
I'm afraid to use a remote starter because I'm like, well, what about carbon monoxide? Do I really want to walk into a garage full of carbon monoxide?
Right. And I got this weird fear that there's going to be like a bomb or something. I know that's weird. You start the car and the car explodes.
I mean, if you want to talk about irrational fear, does anybody else, like in the city, I back out into an alley at 3 o'clock in the morning, and so as soon as I pull out of the garage, I'm like, whoa, whoa.
Whoop, yeah, exactly. What's going on?
Who's in the alley right now at 3 a.m.?
Yeah, who's moving? I'm watching
Things
everything.
that go through our heads.
Yep. Anyway, watch too many movies. We'll take a quick
Anchored
break.
too many newscasts.
That too. We're back with more in 90 seconds. Hang on.
Well, good morning, everyone. Taking a look here at our wind chills throughout the morning and, well, the day today and into early tomorrow morning. They're not looking too great. Anywhere between about 30 and 35 degrees will mostly be where our wind chills are situated today. Then tomorrow, it improves if you just want to bump it up. Of course, it's not going to be a straight bump. It's a gradual increase to about 15 to 25 degrees below zero. And then Christmas morning, we could possibly still see sub-zero wind chill values. The live view that we have just been loving / hating, loving because we're inside looking at it, over Chicago, and look at that steam on the water. Wouldn't be surprised if there's some blowing and drifting snow also involved in that, as the water on the lake is relatively warm compared to, well, 8 degrees below zero for an air temperature out at O'Hare. Blowing snow, a concern out at O'Hare. That visibility has been dropping between about 2 and 6 miles. We're back on the lower end of that, and that's all dependent on how much wind has been blowing across those runways. For today and into this afternoon, our temperatures, they are not going to improve much. Bitter cold and blowing snow, despite little or no additional snowfall throughout the day today. Diane?
We're seeing so many incidents out there because of the black ice that's on the tollways, on the expressways, lots of spinouts, lots of rollovers, lots of stalled vehicles as well. In fact, too many to get to, but I'm going to give you some of the most important highlights that are going on right now. First of all, we have to start with the CTA problem. So the Linden-bound Purple Line Express trains, they're not stopping at Diversity in Wellington because of some switching issues. And CTA and Metra, in fact, did tell us that this is very common, as you all remember, during extreme cold temperatures. So definitely, if you're taking public transportation, check before you go so you're not standing at the station too long in these extreme weather conditions. Outbound on the Ryan, right near 63rd, in the express lanes, we do have a multi-vehicle crash. Idot is with it, and actually it is causing a significant delay approaching that scene. Outbound on the Stevenson, approaching LaGrange, we do have a crash there as well. And again, we don't have a high volume of traffic, but whatever traffic is out there, it's definitely slowing down in this area. This crash still there, eastbound High 80, right near US 30. Back to you.
All right, Diane, thank you so much. All right, so let's talk about something other than weather and traffic for a second. If you're looking for last-minute gifts for the kiddos, we got you covered thanks to Sam's Toy Box.
Bring your kids' favorite characters from movies, TV shows, video games, and social media platforms to the real world with play sets, dolls, collectibles, and more. Samantha Chapman shows us all the cool toys.
We know that kids love playing with things they see on the screen. Any screen, movie screen, TV screen, computer screen.
Check out the Jurassic Park 6V T-Rex quad for kids 2 and up.
And it is so awesome. So for one thing, right on the handles is a little red button. And when you push the button, the wheels go.
This cute yet fierce ride allows children to enter the land of the most iconic dinosaurs. And you know, I had to try it out myself. On the market for $66.75. Kids love Ryan from Ryan's World.
And let me just say, Ryan is making like millions of dollars a year as a YouTuber.
We need to change careers.
Girl. The Ryan's World Mega Mecha Titan starts out as a chest, but transforms into a huge buildable robot. This toy is so cool. It's $59.99 for kids 3 and up. There's also the miraculous Ladybug Switch and Go scooter and Ladybug doll.
And now, she and her friend are ready to get onto this transforming scooter and save the city.
Great for kids 4 and up. It's coming in at $34.99. Pokemon is still hot, and so is this next toy.
This is our Pokemon Flame and Fight Charizard.
Oh,
so really cool. It is ferocious, and you hear all kinds of sounds, but I want you to watch what comes out of his mouth because it's a dragon, so.
Kids will load them up, and flames will come shooting out. Tons of fun. And there's a bonus, too. They can even launch Pikachu. It's $29.99 for kids 8 and up. And then there's this Beyblade battle set for $59.99.
Kids love it. They love watching the show, and they love the battling tops. And as we drop our battling tops in, they're going to spin, hit each other, and both of them are going to drop to the bottom where they're finished their battle.
Sounds dramatic.
It is dramatic.
This toy is great for kids 8 and up. Samantha Chapman, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
A lot of good stuff. And we're back with more after a short break.
What's your name again?
Whitney Elizabeth Houston.
Oh, I get so many feels when I see this. I'm amazed, I'm sad, I'm excited. Whitney Houston's story hits the big screen today in the film I Want to Dance with Somebody. An intimate look at Houston's rise to fame and her eventual downfall. The singer portrayed by Naomi Ackles. Director Casey Lemons tells us Houston's estate handpicked the British actress.
They saw something in her after a rigorous search for who was going to play Whitney. They saw that spark that reminded them of the person that they knew very well and loved.
So there it is. What do you think?
See, the thing about biopics like this, they've got to, I mean, and we're talking about Whitney Houston here, you got to bring it.
Yeah.
Like, this has to be good. And we'll see. I haven't seen it yet. Some of the early reviews that I've heard are lukewarm.
Really?
Yeah, I know. So anyway.
So I go down the rabbit hole with this about
Yeah.
like I think Whitney is the greatest of all time, bar none.
Yeah.
And then that takes me, well, what were the diva concerts and who would I pick for my diva concerts now? Totally headlined by Whitney.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone else? We're being told to wrap, but I want to have this conversation.
Right, exactly. We'll talk about it in the break. I have to think about it. All right, we're back with more in 90 seconds.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
Good morning, everyone. The bitter cold has definitely entrenched itself into our area. Snowfall total's not that impressive until you get over into southwest Michigan with 6 inches in Stevensville, just 1.3 inches at O'Hare. Most of us seeing between 2 and 2.5 inches of snow. But there's that lake effect from New Buffalo northward, just a mess. If you're heading towards Berrien County, definitely would want to put that off. Look at the winds, many places gusting over 40 miles per hour, creating dangerously low wind chills. Tanya Terrell.
All right, Phil, thank you so much. And yeah.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching our 7 a.m. show. Greg Dutra and Diane Pathy will talk weather and traffic during Good Morning America.
We're going to hear from them in just a moment. From everyone here at ABC7, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you again after the holiday at 7.
Stay warm.
This has